woodworker. He's also an electrician. And right now, Ron, if you could tell us a little bit about what we're doing here. First of all, first, let me welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome to RKC Woodwork Design. We are completing or working on outdoor custom kitchen. And right now we're going to be putting in LED lights. We already have one strip here. And go ahead, Ron. What's happening? What are we doing here?
Well, the customer requested lighting on their tool kicks on their cabinets to light up at night. It'll light up their pathway and give them a little bit of ambiance. So right now I'm just wiring in the lighting. So what I need to do, these light strips come as a continuous. These light strips come as a continuous roll, so you cut them to fit. So these are custom. So I'm having to install wires to them to get them to hook up to the power supply. So I've already done this cabinet, and we're using these waterproof connectors that connect behind the cabinets, since these are modular. So we'll just plug in, and when we go to install them, and they should work. So provided I got the polarity right on these, because these are polarity sensitive. I'll find out in a minute when I test these and see if the rope lights up, and I can start installing it on the other cabinet. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this soldering iron and plug in the power pack that came with the lights here. And we got a blue light, so if I did the wiring right and got the polarity right, hopefully this will glow. So I got a 50-50 chance. And they are glowing. So now I have to put the wiring on the other side, because this is the in and out. And I'll be able to install it on the cabinet and then plug them all in and make sure they work. So I got to do the same thing on this side. So what we have here is a little hole. I'm just going to feed it through now just to make sure that I like the way it's looking. And I'm going to roll this down. And I got to do a little mark where the other wire needs to come through. There's my hole, so I want the wire to be about right there. So it's just right around that mark, so I have to do this again. So I'm cutting the little tape and little plastic backing on this LED strip to expose the copper connector. And I have to make sure my polarity is right, because like I said, these are LEDs. So here's my positive. So my positive is all the way on the bottom. So I'm just going to run my finger, make sure I'm noting which one is the positive. So this one is positive. So I'm going to start on this one first. So I need to scrape and make sure I have good clean copper for the soldering iron. Then what I like to do is take some sandpaper and sand the copper so the solder will stick to it, so it's bright and shiny. So I'll double check one more time to get this right. So here's my positive. Following it all the way down, positive was right there. So here's my positive. So I'm going to do this one first.
If you're just coming on, this is RKC Woodwork Design, and we are now adding lighting to our custom kitchen design.
So I'm going to go ahead and tan my tip.
Feel free to ask any questions if you have any questions.
And get some solder on this positive one, just like that. Then I have a little wire lead here. Gonna strip just enough to expose a small little bit of copper. And if I can get this to sit still, I'm gonna go ahead and tin this one as well. Clean my tip. Make sure I don't have any wires sticking off to the side. Go ahead and tin it, and then since I'm trying to get this through the hole, I'm just gonna put a slight lining on it. Again, noting this is my positive, and I'm gonna go ahead and solder that one on. You can see it's stuck.
We're adding lighting to the custom.
So now I'm gonna go ahead and
bar.
tin the negative side of the LED strip. Got good solder flow, and I'm gonna get my negative black lead. Strip the end.
That means, but
twist my wires. We're gonna tin this guy too.
What does tin mean?
That's when you take the bare copper and you put solder on it. It's called tinning. So I'm just gonna get a little bit on the tip, heat up the wire, let the solder flow. It's tinned. And then I'm gonna do a little hook on this one again. And hit this guy. Okay, we're good. Our wires are on there. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna test this thing both directions just to make sure I'm good. So I'm gonna go ahead and even those up. I'm going to strip some of the insulation here.
Feel free to ask any questions if you have any questions or comments.
Strip the insulation here.
If you're just joining us, we are now adding lights, adding LED lights.
Go ahead and twist the wires good here. Twist the wires good here.
Of this outdoor kitchen. It's going to be beautiful when it's done.
And then I'm going to go ahead and tin these because I'll be connecting them with a connector like this. So I'm going to go ahead and tin them anyway.
Thanks for joining us. He's tinning. I just learned what tinning is. Maybe if I can get a little closer, you can see.
Okay, those are tinned, and let's double check. We'll feed this in also. Make sure our other end is not shorting out, and it's not. We'll go ahead and plug our driver in. Got the blue lights, our power is on, outside is negative, center pin is positive, and we're good both directions. Okay, so now that that is done, we can bring this around. Make sure these wires are going to go through the holes on both ends like we want them. And I can see that I bent these the wrong way, so I'm going to turn these, oops, carefully.
So this is the toe kick right here. That's the bottom. Here's the top down there.
So let's see, we're going to fish these through. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is take my knife and see if I can cut this wood down a little bit because I don't want that hump. It's really hard to get a drill in here. I need a longer drill bit, so I'm going to try to extend this as long as I can. Let's see if I can pull this hole down. It's very hard to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I was able to do that one. Okay. What I'm trying to do is just make a little pocket so this lays as flat as possible.
This is going to be really pretty.
So that's sitting a little bit better.
If anybody's in here, let me know if you can hear us. Let me know if you can hear us. This is not an instructional. We're just taking you guys on our journey. It's not a tutorial. So always use caution if you're working with materials. Working with any type of equipment.
So being this is outdoors and I do not trust the sticky tape that came from the manufacturer, I'm using some super strong epoxy glue I'm running a bead all the way down. We did the same thing on this one because I don't want this falling down ever.
If you stick with this, you'll be able to see the test. We're going to test it to make sure it lights up. This is the bottom. So this will be flipped over. This is the toe kick. So it'll be on the bottom. This is for an outdoor kitchen, custom kitchen that we're building for one of our customers. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any questions or comments.
Okay. So now what I want to try to do is find what is left from the sticky film. Okay.
Is that what they just want you to have? Just that without the glue normally?
Yeah. With temperature changes, it always falls off.
Yeah, I
so
don't blame you for adding the extra glue.
yeah, I don't want it to fall.
No, you don't.
So I try to get it as close to the end of here to make it like a seamless band of light. And it just so happens as I was making this cabinet, we have a little trough here for this to sit down into, which kind of worked out nice.
It's going to be beautiful. You guys hang around. Make sure you come back and see. Put your notifications on so you guys can follow as we do this project. Let's see, watch Ron in action.
So before I get too far ahead of myself, I want to pull the rest of the tape off. And I want to feed these wires through.
That tells you the quality of his work. There we go.
Keep working in. Something like that. So this glue was set up overnight. Just want to make sure you press it down in good. Because we do not want this backing off. Okay, and then before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to check it one more time. Because now is the time to check it. Make sure it's working electrically. Take our driver. Test this one more time before I move on to the wiring.
So we're about to test it, see if it lights up. There it goes.
There we go.
Look at
Nice
that.
even gold.
That's going to be amazing.
Okay, so now with that done, I can drill holes on both sides to allow for the connector. Okay, plug my soldering iron back in and we'll put the connectors on them and plug everything in and make sure everything works. And we're one step closer to having these units finished.
So here's three, almost, he's working on the third one. He has like 5 units to go through. What are we doing here, Ron?
Trying to shove the wire into the hole.
What's this wiring here for?
Wires extend is to extend the wire from the LED strips so we can plug it in at the client's house. It's fighting me right now.
It's a lot of work that goes into building these cabinets. Thank you for joining us, whoever's here. If you can hear us, let me know. I'd love to know if you can hear us.
Okay, so just size this up.
But we'll be done here in a little bit. I'm gonna test it here. You gonna test it here?
Yeah, once I get I'll put all the connectors in it to make sure it works. So we won't have any problems when we deliver it. And this one will connect to the other unit once that one's done.
Hi to anybody new joining us. Just want to say hello and welcome you. This is RKC Woodwork Design working on an outdoor kitchen project for a client of ours. It's not for us, it's for a client. But here we go. So what are we doing here, Ryan?
Just stripping the outer jacket.
What's this outer jacket for?
This is to protect the wires. So
What's this wire for though?
this wire is what's driving the LED lights. We're just extending what we just soldered on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and expose the conductors.
You guys make sure to like, follow, like and subscribe, and feel free to ask any comments, any questions.
Put our heat shrink tubing on.
And thank you for joining us.
So our shrink tube is on. We had our iron unplugged, so let's see if our iron is heated up again. Looks like it is. We're gonna go ahead and tin these.
If you're just joining us, we are adding LED lights to the bottom, the toe kick of the outdoor cabinets for the outdoor kitchen. And so we're soldering the wire.
So the tricky part is trying to get these wires in position where we can.
Can you do it?
Can
you do it?
together.
Of course you can do it. How's everybody doing tonight? We're so glad that you're here to join us.
It's not a good connection. Make it a little bit more solid than that. We don't want these failing because it's going to be under a lot of weight once these are installed. So that's a good joint. Okay, then heat shrink tubing up. And take our lighter, shrink the tube. And that's well insulated. And then we'll just route these nice and neat. Make sure you pierce the wire. Center that up on our staple guide. Drive a couple staples, that's not going anywhere. Go ahead and do the other side, the same procedure. Put the connectors on.
We're gonna turn it on in a few minutes. You're gonna try test them both, see if they both work together?
Yep.
So hang out so you guys can see the test, see if it works. Ron was an electrician for how many years, Ron? Were you an electrician?
35 years.
He was an electrician for 35 years. That's why he can work this fast. This is second nature for him. It's not retired. He gets to do the things that he does. Thank you for joining us. Here we go.
Oh, remember to do your heat shrink first, because you can't put it on after fact. Go ahead and give these a twist so they stay together. And they're a little bit long, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim them. Go ahead and get our iron. Prop these up a little bit. Using a 40-watt iron here, so there's plenty on it. And this is just simple color to color. Black and white, red, red. Good flow. Looks pretty good. Solder to my tip. This is 60-40 rosin solder for electrical. That's a good joint. Okay, colors are right. Pull our heat shrink tube up. Want to get it about halfway on there. And get our lighter. All right, that's nice and good. Iron.
Let's get off here. What's this?
Piece of wood. Get our cable where we want it. Make sure we don't try to stick with our wire.
If you're just joining us, we are adding lace to the underkick of the cabinets. So we're going to be testing it in a few minutes. And right now, this is, what are you doing right here?
Getting the wire ready to accept the connector. Procedure. We're going to do it a little bit different. So on this end, this is the joining side. We'll go ahead and strip this, but what we're going to do is put our connector that mates with that connector on. So does this be plug and play when we get to the house to install?
Yeah, we have to deliver this. When you plan on delivering it, the clients are out of town, so we're gonna.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it there. So this is the matching plug that goes to this. And I strip these wires a little bit longer. And here's a pretty cool trick if you're joining wires together. Soldering an heat shrink is the best electrical connection you can make. It's better than any kind of mechanical crimp. But what you do is you take the wires like this, get them straight, make sure you got your color and heat shrink on, and you just want to kind of weave them together like this. Make sure you don't have any sharp barbs sticking out, but if you weave it like that, clean your tip. Apply a little bit of solder to your clean tip. Heat your joint. Let the solder flow. That's a pretty good joint. We're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to take our wires. We're going to cross them, and you just wrap them around each other like this. And it makes it smooth without a lot of bumps in your wire. So our polarity is right, our heat shrink is there. We're going to add some solder, heat the joint, let the solder flow. Okay, that's a good joint. So now we're going to slide our heat shrink up. Get it about halfway on there. Apply our heat.
It's a lot of work that goes into these cabinets.
Okay, so we're ready to test these. So these are waterproof connectors.
Drum roll.
So they just click in. They're actually automotive connectors. So these will be behind the client cell wall.
See, this is the front.
And we'll go ahead and plug the driver in. And we did everything right.
All right, is it
We
gonna
got
come
blue
on?
light on our driver. We did everything right. It should light up.
Let's see. Let's
Give
see.
these a
Let's see.
twist. We'll put a connector on these once I've verified that this is
Oh,
working.
this is doing something here.
Okay, so let's see what we got.
Here we go. There we go.
And so if you can imagine, once this is all together, it'll be a continuous line of light. So
And this will be on the bottom. This is the toe kick.
it's
This will be
upside
flipped
down
over,
right
yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Got the lights installed.
And this is set up in about an hour, and in the morning it'll be solid.
Well, thank you for joining us. That's it for the light install. So far they work. I think that's it for the evening. Thank you for joining us. It's been fun. It's been real. RKC Woodwork Design. Working on an outdoor kitchen for a customer, custom order. And come back and join. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. And feel free to join us next time we're live. Turn on your notifications so you can see when we go live and you can join us. Feel free to ask questions and comment. We'd love to talk with you. Have a great day. Have a great evening. And thank you. Signing off.